Family is often seen as a haven of love, trust, and safety. Yet, when underlying tensions fester unchecked, this sanctuary can become the setting for unimaginable tragedies. In this video, we'll delve deep into 3 of the most infamous family murder cases in the United States. These chilling stories are not only tales of betrayal and violence, but also reflections of societal issues and the complexities of human relationships. Prepare for a journey into the dark heart of family dynamics as we explore the cases of the Menendez brothers, Chris Watts, and Susan Powell. Case 1: The Menendez Brothers. The Menendez brothers case shocked the nation and continues to captivate public interest decades later. Jose Menendez, a Cuban immigrant, had worked his way up from humble beginnings to become a wealthy and influential entertainment executive. His wife, Kitty, was known as a devoted mother, though she reportedly struggled with emotional instability and bouts of depression. Together, they built a life of affluence, raising their sons, Lyle and Eric, in the wealthy enclaves of New Jersey and California. Despite their privileged upbringing, the Menendez brothers claimed their family life was far from idyllic. Jose was described as an overbearing and controlling father, while Kitty's struggles with her mental health often left her distant and unpredictable. In court, Lyle and Eric alleged that their father subjected them to years of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse, with their mother turning a blind eye to their suffering. This narrative painted a stark contrast to the polished public image of a successful and happy family. On the night of August 20th, 1989, this tension erupted into violence. Jose and Kitty were brutally murdered in their Beverly Hills mansion. Jose was shot point-blank in the back of the head, while Kitty was shot multiple times as she tried to escape. The scene was gruesome, and the initial theory was that the murders were a professional hit. In the days following the killings, Lyle and Eric presented themselves as grieving sons. However, their behavior quickly raised suspicions. The brothers embarked on a lavish spending spree, purchasing luxury cars, designer clothes, and expensive watches. Their spending totaled over $700,000 within months, a stark contrast to their claims of mourning. Friends and family began questioning their priorities, as the brothers appeared to revel in their newfound wealth. The investigation took a dramatic turn when Eric confessed to his psychologist, Dr. Jerome Oziel. The psychologist, fearing for his own safety, recorded conversations with the brothers, which included admissions of guilt. These tapes became central to the prosecution's case. Lyle and Eric were arrested in 1990 and charged with first-degree murder. The trial, which began in 1993, was a media spectacle. The defense painted a harrowing picture of life inside the Menendez home, describing years of abuse and manipulation that culminated in the brothers' desperate act of self-defense. The prosecution, however, argued that the murders were premeditated and motivated by greed. They pointed to the brothers' significant inheritance and their reckless spending as evidence of their true motives. The first trial ended in a mistrial due to a deadlocked jury. In the retrial, the judge limited the admissibility of abuse evidence, significantly weakening the defense's case. Both brothers were convicted of first-degree murder in 1996 and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The Menendez case sparked intense debate about abuse, privilege, and the complexities of justice. It remains a cultural touchstone, inspiring books, movies, and ongoing discussions about family violence. In the years since their conviction, the Menendez brothers have become a subject of renewed public interest. Documentaries and interviews have explored the psychological impact of abuse and questioned whether justice was truly served. The brothers, now middle-aged, continue to advocate for their release, with supporters arguing that their actions were a direct result of years of trauma. The Menendez case serves as a haunting reminder of how unchecked abuse can lead to catastrophic consequences. Forensic experts have weighed in over the years, analyzing the evidence and testimony in greater detail. They argue that the brothers' claims of abuse, while horrifying, might have been overshadowed by the prosecution's focus on their post-crime spending spree. Legal scholars continue to debate whether the court's decision to limit evidence of abuse unfairly influenced the outcome. The Menendez case is often cited in discussions about the broader legal system's handling of family violence and its intersection with wealth and privilege. Case 2. The Chris Watts case. Chris Watts appeared to be a devoted husband and father, living an idyllic life in Frederick, Colorado. He and his wife, Sean N., had 2 young daughters, Bella and Celeste, and were expecting a son. Sean N. was active on social media, often sharing moments from their seemingly happy family life. Yet beneath the surface, their marriage was crumbling. Financial struggles, mounting debt, and Chris's extramarital affair created a toxic undercurrent. On August 13, 2018, Sean N. and her daughters were reported missing. Chris initially played the role of the concerned husband, giving emotional interviews pleading for their safe return. However, inconsistencies in his story quickly drew the attention of investigators. A polygraph test revealed his deception, and under mounting pressure, Chris confessed to murdering his family. The details of the murders were horrifying. Chris strangled Sean and in their home after an argument about his infidelity. He then smothered Bella and Celeste, using a blanket to silence their cries. The calculated nature of his actions became even more chilling as investigators uncovered his attempts to dispose of their bodies. Chris buried Sean and in a shallow grave at his worksite and placed the girls' bodies in oil tanks. The case garnered widespread media attention, not only because of the brutality of the crimes, but also due to Chris's seemingly normal demeanor. Friends and neighbors were stunned that the man they knew could commit such heinous acts. Psychologists analyzing the case pointed to Chris's narcissistic tendencies and his desire to escape his responsibilities as motives for the murders. Chris Watts pleaded guilty to all charges to avoid the death penalty and was sentenced to multiple life terms without parole. The case has since been the subject of documentaries, books, and countless discussions about the dangers of domestic violence and the psychological pressures within families. It stands as a stark reminder of how appearances can be deceiving and the importance of recognizing warning signs in relationships. Investigative reports revealed further chilling details about Chris's mindset. Text messages and interviews showed how he had meticulously planned the murders while maintaining the facade of a devoted husband. His cold demeanor during interrogations led experts to speculate about his ability to compartmentalize guilt, a trait often associated with psychopathy. The Watts case has also fueled discussions about the role of social media in masking reality. Shannon's frequent posts portrayed an idealized family life, but the reality was far more complex. The aftermath of the case saw increased awareness about domestic violence, particularly the concept of familicide, a tragic phenomenon where a family member kills their own relatives. Advocacy groups have used the Watts case as a platform to educate communities about the warning signs of domestic abuse and the importance of early intervention. Chris's story serves as a grim example of how hidden tensions can escalate into unspeakable violence. Case 3. The Susan Powell case. Susan Powell was a 28-year-old mother of 2 living in West Valley City, Utah, when she disappeared in December 2009. Her marriage to Josh Powell had been troubled for years, marked by control issues, financial instability, and emotional abuse. Susan had confided in friends and family about her fears, even writing a letter expressing concerns for her safety. The night of her disappearance, Josh claimed he had taken their young sons on a camping trip in freezing temperatures. Investigators found this story implausible, particularly after discovering traces of Susan's blood in the family home and signs of a cleanup attempt. A safety deposit box revealed a letter from Susan, in which she described feeling trapped and fearful in her marriage. The case took a darker turn in 2012. Josh, who had lost custody of his sons, attacked them during a supervised visitation. He locked the social worker out of the house, then set it on fire, killing himself and the boys. The tragedy shocked the nation and highlighted systemic failures in handling domestic violence cases. Adding another layer of horror, Josh's father, Stephen Powell, was arrested for possession of child pornography and voyeuristic videos, some of which featured Susan. Stephen's behavior painted a grim picture of the environment Susan had endured. Susan's body has never been found, leaving her family without closure. Her parents, Chuck and Judy Cox, have since become advocates for domestic violence awareness, using Susan's story to educate others and push for legal reforms. This case remains a haunting reminder of the dangers of unchecked abuse and the need for vigilance in protecting vulnerable individuals. The legacy of Susan Powell's case has prompted legislative changes and increased awareness about domestic violence. Her story underscores the importance of listening to victims and providing them with resources to escape dangerous situations. Although her body remains missing, Susan's impact on advocacy efforts ensures her memory lives on. The Susan Powell case has also highlighted critical flaws in the legal system's approach to child welfare and domestic violence. The tragic deaths of her sons during a supervised visit exposed lapses in judgment and procedure, sparking calls for stricter safeguards in similar cases. Advocacy groups have since lobbied for reforms to ensure that children's safety is prioritized in custody disputes involving allegations of abuse. Susan's story continues to resonate, inspiring efforts to create a society where such tragedies are less likely to occur. These three cases illustrate the devastating consequences of unresolved tensions and unchecked conflicts within families. The Menendez brothers, Chris Watts, and the Powell family tragedies reveal the darkest sides of human nature, challenging our perceptions of safety and trust in familial bonds. These stories also highlight the importance of awareness and intervention in cases of abuse and domestic violence. By recognizing warning signs and fostering open communication, we can work to prevent such tragedies. Advocacy efforts inspired by these cases serve as a testament to the resilience of those who seek justice and change in the wake of unimaginable loss. What are your thoughts on these cases? Share your insights in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth true crime stories.